Hi, I'm Peter from soundadventurer.com. I set a crazy goal this year to practice a different instrument every month for an hour each day for the entire year. Now, for some of you musicians out there, this may not be a crazy goal, but for me, it was a little crazy since I have a family, I have a full-time job, and many other things that divide my attention. And so it's a really big commitment for me to spend this much time learning an instrument. However, part of the reason I made this goal was because I know that there are many out there who are in my similar situation who don't have a lot of spare time, but they love music and they don't have as much time to spend to music that they want. And you might also feel intimidated and think that, no, I can't, the little time I have is not enough to really improve in an instrument and, get better. And so that's really the purpose of this channel, is to help everyone feel more confident in picking up a new instrument, a new hobby, or whatever it is. So make sure and subscribe if you want to learn more about new instruments or learn about learning new instruments. For the last month, I studied the drum kit and I learned a lot. I learned a lot of lessons. Some of these lessons were tough for me to learn, and I'll get into those as soon as I show you a before and after. Really a different experience than the other instruments that I've picked up in this monthly goals project. For example, the didgeridoo or the tin whistle, I started at basically zero, almost had zero experience learning those instruments, and so the growth curve for those instruments looked more like this. However, the drum kit I've had some experience with. As in high school, I had a drum kit. I wasn't good by any means, and I didn't play in a band, but I did spend some time learning the basics. And so my growth curve for this month looked more like this. This was a hard lesson for me to learn because it's kind of discouraging to not see that you are progressing very quickly. And so you may feel like, oh, I'm not going anywhere. And one thing I learned that was really helpful is that to spend more time on small incremental goals. And for example, instead of saying I want to get really good at drums, which is it's impossible in a short time. It really takes a long time to become a master of the drums. But instead I said I want to get better at some of the basic rudiments. So I spent some of my practice time practicing some of the simpler rudiments, like the single stroke, the double stroke, or the paradiddle. Or, for example, I wanted to improve my bass drum coordination, so I spent a lot of time playing really slow, trying to get better at some of that bass drum coordination. I actually also wanted to try playing along with songs and learning to, pretend as if I was the drummer for that band and play the fills, and instead of what I usually do, which is just jam and play whatever beat I want to, instead actually try and, keep my beats more simple so to keep my rhythm more steady. That probably was too much to try in 1 month, but that's what I spent and focused on, and I did see an improvement in all of those areas. The next thing I learned is that drums are really a tremendously deep instrument. You can spend years studying the drums. They're so versatile and incredible, and that was also kind of intimidating for me. I mean, if you just spend 10 minutes on YouTube looking at other drummers, you'll see there are just some tremendous drummers out there. It was definitely still fun to learn, but it was, kind of goes back to the needing to set goals that are realistic for you and smaller goals that you can focus on, especially if you only have a limited time to practice. Really, my lesson learned there is that the drums really deserve more time. That's it for the lessons learned for the drums. This next month, I'm going to be spending some time on the guitar, and we'll see how much I can improve in 30 days. Thanks for watching.